What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Crafters Live. I'm David Wilson, and we're back again with another Friday stream where we get together as a community and talk about whatever topic I've come up with for the week. And as you can already see, we've got some notifications popping up here. I wish I could turn that off, but I can't, I don't think, unless somebody who knows how this thing works in the chat can tell me, because this is going to be kind of distracting the whole time. In fact, it's kind of weird. Okay, it's good. Anyway. Hope y'all doing well. It's been an interesting week for me. I'm just trying to finish up all the stuff that I have to do before the birth of my second child next week. That's going to be pretty interesting. We'll see how well I'm able to keep up with all the goings on after that happens. But hey, you know, it's great. The new member of the family and a lot of cool stuff's going to happen. So we'll see. Elijah says Dunst. Yeah, if I kill Dunst, it's going to start doing other weird stuff, I think. But maybe it won't. Maybe I should kill Dunst, actually. So anyway, let's say hello to some folks who are here so far. Okay, thanks, Alpha Papa. Hello to Summer, Thokal, Andrew, Cap and No Beard. I can say who you are. I don't know if I should say who you are. GK Pseudo, Anton, Sig, Amalvadia, Alejandro, Elijah, Ashraz, The Foss Enjoyer, Arnaud, Minas Mazar, Fade. Hello, everyone. If I have dunce control, I can pause it. That's cool. Let me see. Dunce control. I haven't used that before. Does it tell me? I see set paused. Set paused, true. Excellent. Let's see if that works. Cap and No Beard says, my alter ego isn't really a secret here. Yes, that's Cap and No Beard is Alpha Papa, the author of Ement.el. So we'll be talking to him quite a lot through the stream. So anyway, let's get into the updates. First of all, I want to say that the Matrix and IRC migration over from Discord is going really well. It's been an interesting week for me because I've been trying to solve some specific problems with how the bridge between Matrix and IRC works, and also some issues I was having with the Matrix channels themselves. Basically, the original way that I set up the bridge rooms is like what they call a portal, where it sort of creates a central location for a specific IRC chat room in Matrix. And when you do that, you, the creator of the channel, don't have as much control over the channel, like setting moderators or setting the name of the channel and things like that. Aside from that, the IRC bridge was working fine. A little bit problematic here and there. I guess people were, losing sync every now and then, but I wanted to make sure that we have a really good experience on both sides, both for Matrix and for IRC. So I had to recreate the channels using a different approach that I found for how to bridge the channels between Matrix and IRC, and it's much better now. But the problem is, any of you who joined the Matrix channels last week after I did that changeover, you'll have to follow some steps to get your IRC presence back in the right place, I guess you could say, because if you join the new channels, which probably does happen if you go to the System Crafters space right now, you're going to be showing up twice. So I've got a page on the System Crafters news site. If you go to systemcrafters.net/news, you'll see that as the top news entry. Go to that. It's the one called Changes to Matrix Channels. It gives you a step-by-step flow on how you can fix that for yourself. In fact, let's see, how much stuff do I have open here already? Let's see. So this should help you to fix your situation. And in the channels, there's people there who can tell you whether your IRC presence is fixed correctly. So we've helped a few people fix theirs already, which is good. So you might want to try that. But it took a while to figure out exactly like how I wanted things to end up, because I had actually set up my own Matrix server last week to experiment and see if the IRC bridging situation was better. And it seemed like it was going to be more trouble to do it that way. And then I figured out the right way to bridge channels on matrix.org. So after all, we're not leaving matrix.org. The channels will still be there. So if you want to create an account on matrix.org, it's a great place to be. But because Matrix is a federated protocol, you can create a Matrix account on any Matrix home server, even your own, and join those channels. So I think it's probably the best situation for everyone. So we have, a really good Matrix experience with named channels that are grouped effectively, and then those same channels are bridged over to IRC, and people in IRC can see independently everyone who's in the Matrix channel. So, you can mention people directly, or you can see them typing independently. I had experimented with a bridge that only has one bot that relays messages across, and it looked really weird. So I'm glad I didn't have to end up with that approach, because it was not good. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with how things have turned out, but I'm still looking for feedback from people on what other rooms are currently missing. As of right now, we have the general room, which is pretty busy. A lot of people talking there all day long, which has been great. I've been having a lot of fun. Also, there's an Emacs room and a Geeks room, but we probably need some other rooms for other topics as well, because I don't want to discourage people from talking about specific topics and trying to get help if the main channel is just buzzing about whatever random topic has come up at that moment. So feel free to give me feedback either there in Matrix or via email or whatever other way that you can find me on the internets. One other thing I wanted to mention, which is pretty cool, is that the Lisp Game Jam starts today. If you've never participated in the Game Jam before, basically it is an event that has some restricted amount of time where you're supposed to create a game from scratch, or maybe from a particular starting point. This particular jam is one that is about writing a game with a Lisp language. Now, if you've been on Mastodon this week, you've probably seen some arguments about what actually qualifies as Lisp. I'm not going to get into that right now, but the point is, this is called the Lisp Game Jam, but you can use Lisp, you can use Scheme, Common Lisp, Clojure, Fennel, whatever you want. You can even use your own dialect of Lisp if you want to. And it's a week-long jam, so you've got, well, it says 9 days, so maybe it's a little bit longer than a week. Okay, here it says 10 full days. Apparently I need to learn to read. Point being, it's a fun way to exercise your skills with the Lisp language, or maybe try one that you haven't tried before. There's also a channel on LibreChat called #LispGames if you want to go chat with other people who are participating, because a lot of people are there. So I'm going to try to participate in this as I can next week whenever I have time, because I really like participating in game jams. If you've ever seen my Flux Harmonic YouTube channel, you've seen me stream, I think, 3 different game jams there. I don't think I'll be able to stream this one. I wish I could, it'd be fun, but I don't think I'll be able to. But I'll at least try to participate a little bit next week. So definitely keep an eye out on my Mastodon account, fossadon.org/DavidWill, if you want to see what I'm posting about there. There we go, right there, fossadon.org/@DavidWill. And I'll probably be mentioning stuff as I'm doing it. But that's a cool event. Definitely check it out if you're interested in writing some Lisp code. Thank you, Ashraz, for linking the Flux Harmonic channel in the chat. Also want to mention that I just sent out issue number 3 of the System Crafters newsletter last day, yesterday. That has been a pretty fun little project. I think it's kind of unique in its own way. This is different from the RSS feed. The RSS feed is basically posts that I want to have like publicly on the website that are informational and that I probably want to give you a link to, like the post about the Matrix channels. But the newsletter is a different form of content where I give tips, news from the community, and other things that I just find interesting. So if you want to check that out, it comes out every Thursday. Go sign up for it here on the webpage. No spam, no noise, just once a week I send you an email, and you can unsubscribe anytime. It's a text-only email newsletter, so it kind of looks like this. You can check out the first issue on that page if you go click through that link. Also, if you want to go look at the other issues, you can easily just go and type in the number of the issue. But, I'm not going to tell you how to hack my website. So give that a look if you're interested to hear some more news from the System Crafters community. Purple G is noticing that the rainbow, whatever that is, rainbow colors package is colorizing this #003, which is a lot of fun. And lastly, I'll just mention, if you want to support the work that I do on this channel and in the community, you can go to the how to help page of the site. There's a few different options for financial support, but there's also like, other ways you can help the community, etc., by spreading the word, blah, blah, blah. So if you're interested in any of those things, definitely go take a look at that. And any help that people provide is basically enables me to spend more time on the stuff that I want to do here. I've got a lot of big plans, a lot of the guides that I want to start writing. I have actually started writing a little bit, but I haven't put anything online yet. So I want to start funneling more of my time into that. So I just need to start building up my support base effectively. All right, that's enough for the spiel on those things. So today, what we're going to do is take a look at the Ement.el package for Emacs. Now, you're probably wondering why it's Ement.el. Well, if you type it out a little bit differently, it's L.eMent or element. So element, if you don't know, is the sort of primary or official client for the Matrix chat protocol. So Matrix is a federated or decentralized chat protocol that has a lot more modern features than IRC, let's say. It's more like a Discord or a Slack, but it's open source and open protocol and federated, which is really cool for people like us because it's a protocol that gives you choices. You can decide what server you want to be on. You can decide what client you want to use. You can even use a different server implementation if you want to host it yourself. So it's one of these kinds of projects that are interesting to our community. So this package is of interest and importance to us because it is a way that you can chat with other people on Matrix from within Emacs. And that's important to me because I would prefer to have Emacs be my text-focused and highly productive environment for interacting with anything, even Mastodon or IRC or email, etc. So Ement.el fits really nicely into this whole scheme of doing more things in Emacs, and we're going to go through it today to show you exactly how well it operates. Because in fact, I kind of feel like it's like one of the best chat experiences you can get in Emacs today. This package was authored by a very well-known and prolific package author named Alpha Papa, otherwise known as Adam Porter. And Alpha Papa has been really great about being in the System Crafters chat and answering people's questions about Ement.el. He's also very active in the official Ement.el channel. So if you want to ask specific questions about Ement.el, you can also go there and talk to the people who are in that channel on Matrix. I should probably give a link to that. In fact, if you're in Matrix, I think it's correct me if I'm wrong here. Ement at matrix.org. Is that right? Let me check. It's the Ement room list. Where is it here? Does it not tell me? Anyway, we'll get into this UI in just a second. But until then, hopefully somebody will tell me in the chat the Ement official Ement chat room alias. Official Ement.el chat on Matrix. It could be Ement or Ement.el, I don't know. So, probably if you've used Matrix before, the first place that you started was using the web interface for Element, which is kind of the place where Jeff says hover your mouse over it. Maybe, let's see. And not this one. Is it #Ement.el? Can you have dots in the channel names? That'd be pretty interesting if that's possible. So Element is sort of like the primary interface, and probably it's the way that you've created your account. Ement describe room, thank you. I should write that down later. So let's just go really quickly over to matrix.org. So let's just show matrix.org, maybe show how one would go sign up for an account, because what I want from this stream is for people to learn a little bit about Matrix and maybe sign up and join the channel so that you can all kind of hang out with us there. Let's see, try now. Is that where I want to go? Element. On the web, app.element.io is the official page for that. And sure, I want you to store persistent data. So if you go to app.element.io, you can create an account here. And I believe that's going to create an account for you on the matrix.org home server, which is a fine thing to do. I think that you're not going to run into a lot of trouble setting up an account there. But there's plenty of other home servers. In fact, if you go look up Matrix home servers, you'll probably see, yeah, joinmatrix.org. There's a big list of servers here. So if you want a different place to call your home, you could definitely do that. There you go. Otherwise, you can just create an account here. Let's see, Dave will test. I don't know if this is going to work, but did I not type it right? Here we go. I'm going to see if this works. This may not work. Make sure I'm not a robot. Well, I can't prove that. Buses. All right, let's all do the captcha together. Which pictures are the bus pictures? I think it's only that one, right? That's not a bus. Yeah. I accept the terms. I'm like everyone else. I don't read them. Okay, so I need to check my email. Let me check my phone. I don't know exactly. I don't want to open up my email on stream here. There we go. I think we can use our collective brain power to figure out the CAPTCHA. All right, registration successful. Log in to your account. Now I got to remember what I typed for my password because I typed a bunch of garbage. Username, David will test. Password. Come on now. Is it right? Thank you. Verify this device. What? I don't have any other device. Let's X that out. Yes, I'll verify later. I don't care. Okay, so I just created an account on app.element.io, right? Who will you chat to the most? Online community members. How about that? Help improve Element. No thanks. All right, got a lot of starting stuff. I haven't created an account in a few years, so I don't know exactly what this flow is supposed to look like. So I created this account. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go over to the System Crafters website in the community page, and there's a link here to the System Crafter space, and it brings you to this matrix.to site, which is kind of like a jumping off point. So it will ask you to preview this link using the home server. I'm going to click continue, and now it's telling me the System Crafter space. Choose an app to continue. I'll continue with the Element app. I don't think I have to do this, but allow this site to open. Oh wait, hold on. Where's the web? Continue in your browser. That's the right thing. So I'm just doing this to join the space. You can join this using Ement.el also, but I'm just going to do it this way so you can see how you could do it in a more sort of UI focused approach. So I'm joining this space, and now you can see that it pops up. I'm in these. I don't know if I'm in the suggested room, but I'm going to join the general chat to begin with, and I should be in there now. And if I click on general, I can see it right here. So what I'll do is I'll go disconnect Ement, and then I can reconnect with that account. So let's talk about Ement. Ement is a kind of a rich UI. It's probably one of the more rich UIs for a task you can do in Emacs. It's quite nice. You can have messages that have reactions on them, sort of like on Discord or Slack. You can post files, images, links, and you'll get embeds for all those, or at least to some degree. And you can see typing status for people who are typing in the channel. You can see, I think, whenever people have read messages, things like that. So it's like a modern client effectively in Emacs, and it's quite nice. So let's take a look at what that will look like now. I'm going to use Ement Connect. This is the way that you connect using Ement. And I'll go ahead and put in that at davidwill-test:/matrix.org. That's sort of the format of a username that identifies the server that your user is on. And then I'll put in the password. And then it will log me in, and then it puts me immediately into the Ement room list. You can use MetaX Ement room list to get the same list, but it gives you basically a readout of all the rooms that you're joined to, as well as all the spaces that you're joined to. And it will tell you things like how many unread messages there are, how recent it was active, also just general metadata for the channel. So it's a nice view because it gives you an overview of all the things that you're looking at. So then, hi, David Will Test. Welcome to the community. Great to have you here. Yes, thank you very much. So we're in this channel. I just joined this channel, right? So one thing you're probably wondering is, how do you see like what happened before on the channel? Maybe you joined the channel, you want to kind of see what people have been talking about so far. There is a way to do that. I'm going to try by scrolling up using my mouse wheel first. I wonder if that is going to work. So, okay. So if you start scrolling up with your mouse wheel in the window, it will actually load the history buffer of the chat, which is nice because then you can go all the way back. You can't do that with IRC clients. Even if you have a bouncer, you maybe get blasted like the recent history of the channel, but you can't just scroll back and see everything that happened before. So this is just, you know, what Ement.el is capable of along with the Matrix protocol. You can just page in all of the history and see everything there. So if you've used the System Crafter's IRC before or any other IRC, you're probably used to the necessity of a bouncer to make it possible to keep up with chat history. You don't need that with Matrix. And the nice thing is that, you know, you basically get a bouncer for free if you want to talk to people who are on IRC, because being on matrix.org means you can join IRC channels on other networks like LibreChat or anything else. You can literally just join a channel. In fact, let's do that right now. Let me think of which channel to join. I can try to join the Emacs channel. I don't know if they restrict you from joining if you aren't registered, but we'll try it. Let's see, Ement join room. So the room I'm going to join is #Emacs : Libra.chat. Now, that's not matrix.org because the server apparently has it set up so that it recognizes these domains for certain IRC networks. Not all of them, but some of them. And I should be able to join this, and then that will join me into the IRC chat for Emacs on LibreChat. So let's see what happens. Okay, so it looks like it's joined me in there. And if anybody's talking in that room, the actual IRC room, then those things will show up now. May or may not, we'll see. Okay, so that's some messages coming from Ashraz is now joining. He's gonna come and stalk me in the channel. And fade. The Emacs channel, people have no idea what's going on right now. So, hello. I guess it's, well, I shouldn't be doing this in this channel because they're gonna get pissed off probably. So let me just go over to the general chat, okay? I'm gonna jump down to the bottom of this page. One thing that might be a little bit jarring to you if you've used chat packages in Emacs is you're probably used to being able to type directly into the chat buffer and press enter at some prompt on the screen. If I start trying to type here, it's gonna tell me that this buffer is read only. The way that I'm gonna deal with that is by pressing enter. When you press enter, it's gonna pop up this prompt down in the mini buffer. We see how things are going on Friday evening. That you can use to type in your message. Here, I'm typing in a message live on stream. Please throw some emojis on it. So that allows me to send a message into the chat, and then we'll see if people are throwing emojis on it. We can see right here that there was something. All right, so that's a Unicode character that it's not translating here. So we've got a few different emojis popping up. So those are actual reactions on the message. If I want to add my own, I can put my cursor on the message that I want to put the emoji on. And I can use Ement room send reaction. It says send reaction of key to event at position. So this is bound to SR. So if I go put my cursor here, SR, and then I can put anything I want, like the bug. And that will drop that right there. So it's kind of nice. I mean, you can do sort of a Discord or Slack-like experience with Ement, having emojis and everything else. Ashraz is now helping people in #Emacs. That's what you get for being helpful. You shouldn't do that. Let me see. Let me see what else I can send in the channel. I don't know if I have any images handy. Content, oh yeah. Assets, fave icon in here. Okay, so I'm gonna send an image into the chat. So there's also, oh, okay. Let me show you one thing that's very, very important. Press the question mark inside of the chat buffer and you get this big panel that tells you all the key bindings that you can use. Things like send reaction, send emote, send file, send image, lots of useful stuff there. You can invite users, you can ignore users. scrolling up and down, listing all the rooms that you're in, listing the members of the room, describing the room, lots of stuff you can do. We probably should go through a lot of these things here. Also, you can set your nick. I haven't tried that one yet. So RN, capital R, N. All right, set my display name. You can set your display name individually in channels, which is pretty cool. Let's see. All right, I changed my name. Okay, so it worked. Cool. What else? There was something I want to do. I want to send an image. So SI. All right, so I can go over to assets, image, fave icon. I'm just going to send that there. Do I want to upload a file? Yes. There it is. So I can just like throw a file directly in the chat, and that shows up inside the buffer for me, and other people can also see that directly in their buffer. Even in Element, if we go over to the Element client and I take a look at, what is this? Who wants to talk to me? It's going to take forever to join that probably. All right. No, not there. Here. There's some nice GNU, looks like stable diffusion art. And there's the image that I posted. So you can post images and anybody else can see them. And also the one that Alpha Papa posted there. Let's see if I can jump back down to the bottom. You can see it here. And I think if you click on it, it expands it. So you can, or I guess you can press enter on it as well. But I mean, you got a pretty full experience as far as, you know, sending files. You could, I don't know if animated GIFs work. They probably work, so long as your Emacs is compiled in a way that will play them. And I think on the IRC side, people see those as links. So if someone posts an image, it will show up as a link in the chat on the IRC side, so someone can go click that and look at it in a browser. Or if they have something like ERC that they're using for IRC, they can probably have the image plugin set up so that it shows it directly in their buffer also, which is pretty cool. Hard to type with hooves. Yeah, that's probably true. Okay. So sending files, I mean, I'm not going to send a file unless I want to send a virus to everyone. That'd be pretty fun, right? What else? Forget room, leave room. Don't want to do that. You can set the notifications level for all rooms. For me, this hasn't been working so well. I don't know if it's because my Matrix account is screwed up somehow, but you should be able to change it so that you get notifications for all messages, mentions, or nothing. Also all loud, I don't know what that means. But you should be able to control your notifications on a per channel level. There's also a way to tag rooms. You can set them as either favorite or low priority, which is nice for filtering them or sorting them in the UI. So in this view, which we can see in the Ement room list, which is meta G meta L, you can see that there's a listing of all the rooms here. I don't know if I actually have that customized yet. Let me see. Ement, what was the list default keys? I don't think I've customized that. Yeah, good. All right, so this is sort of like the default listing, and I think if I favorite the System Crafters channel, in fact, I should be able to bring my cursor down here, and yeah, the question mark doesn't work there, but there's an Ement room tag. Okay, Ement tag room. I'm gonna call that a favorite, and now it will bring it to a separate section here at the top. This my favorite rooms, and those will always show up at the top. So that can be a nice way to organize things a little bit. We'll get into a little bit more detail on how you might be able to customize the contents of this view, but just it's worth knowing that any rooms that you join will be sortable in this list, so you can keep an eye on the ones that you care about most very easily, which I think is nice. Let me see what's going on over in that Emacs room. I'm curious if people are freaking out. I see Ashraz helping someone. Too bad for you, Ashraz. I don't know what error message I just got in the echo area. All right, I'm gonna go also join a couple other rooms. Let's join, can I get a room listing for a space? Ement space, view space. Ah, there we go. Ement view space. All right, so I want to view the system crafter space that I'm a member of. You can see down here, there's a single item that I can select. And it tells me that I've joined the general system crafters room, but there's also an Emacs room and a geeks room. So I'm going to press enter if that works, or click it. Yes, join room. I want to join that room. And now if I go back to my room list, Meta-G, Ment.el, you can see that we also have the Emacs room there too. So I can also jump over into that one. Let's see. We go back to the general room, and I keep pressing Shift G because I expect my evil bindings to work, but I turned them off temporarily. Okay, so Mrek has tried to put in a WebP file, and it did not want to display that. But that makes sense, because WebP probably is not going to animate correctly in Emacs. Dramatic Chipmunk, Summer Emacs put here. Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, it did not play, but that's okay. It'd be nice if there was a way to get a link to the file and then go view it in a browser or something. All right, let's see, what else? So someone mentioned here that, oh yes, it lets you send in org syntax like italic, bold, etc. So there's an org mode composition format. Let me see if I can pull that up really quickly. I gotta go back into Emacs mode. So there's a compose message in buffer. So there's a couple different things you can do here. Also C. I think that's what they're talking about, composition format. If I press C, it will toggle that to org mode or plain text. I can change it to org mode. So if you do that, I believe if I go into this buffer and say, here's some bold and italic text, is that the right syntax? Then that will actually send formatted text to the people who can see that in Matrix, even in Ement.el. But I think it gets turned into equivalent characters over on the IRC side, which is pretty cool. Gunn says, are you going to present a stream on how to set up an evil key map? Yeah, definitely should do that at some point. All right, and then the other thing I wanted to mention, there's a way to write a reply. So if I want to reply to someone's message, you have to enable the option which Dave was about to demo. Whoops. If you put your cursor on a particular message and press Shift Enter, then it says send reply. It highlights the message that you're going to reply to. And then when I send that message, excuse me, then it says in reply to Alpha Papa, I just did it, but also it's apparently nesting the replies, which is interesting. I mean, it gives you context if you want to see the context of a message. In a way that's kind of better than what you get out of IRC, because you can actually see context for what people are replying to. On the IRC side, though, it ends up being a little bit verbose from what I have seen on the IRC side, because it writes a lot of this stuff out verbatim. It's not the fault of Ement.el. I think it's the bridge that does that. But that's kind of interesting to see that the IRC side gets the context too, but it might be a little bit noisy. Okay, so Jay Siegel is now writing using org correctly there. That's great. ACDW says the IRC side is very verbose. Yeah, it would be nice to control that somehow. I don't know if there's a setting I can put on the bridged channel itself. Nebojsa, sorry if I butchered your name. End-to-end encryption used to be missing. Any news on that in Ement? There is a program, Pantalemon. Okay, I don't know any of those things there, but Matrix. There's a program that's like a standalone program that can be used as a proxy for adding end-to-end encryption to any Matrix client, from what I understand. I've heard that it's not necessarily that easy to set up, but I haven't tried it myself, so I don't actually know. But you should be able to do this and use it with Ement.el, but Alpha Papa would have to clarify on that. The composition buffer, yeah, I'll get to that in just a second. Oh, and I didn't know it could be activated from the mini buffer. That's pretty cool. I've never seen his Dark Materials or read the books. I don't spend a lot of time on fiction books, unfortunately. or movies for that matter. I tend to watch TV shows and then just keep my head buried in my computer all day. All right. So let's see. All right, in the mini buffer, press Control C, single quote. Cool. So let's show the other thing that Alpha Papa mentioned. I'm going to press question mark again to show you that there is another option for alt return or meta return, which is composed message in buffer. So I am going to press meta enter. And instead of going into the mini buffer area, this is going to let me have a full buffer to compose my message. So I think I can write this in multiple lines. What about bulleted lists? Okay. And then headings. And then it says press Control X, Control S to send this message to room. So Control X, Control S. I haven't tried this before. We're going to find out if it works. I think the heading did actually get bolded, which is cool. Do I need to activate org in the compose buffer? Did I not do that already? This composition format is org mode. I don't know if there's another key I have to press for that. Whoops. Let me go back to general chat here. My evil bindings are evil. They're giving me problems. Okay, so what else? He said that if I were to press enter inside of the send message buffer, I'm going to start with some text, and then I'm going to press Control C single quote, and then that will convert that into a composition buffer so you can continue writing the message. It's kind of nice to do it this way because then you don't have your mini buffer tied up with the message prompt, and you can go to another buffer, maybe copy some text or even copy some code and drop it in there or whatever else you want to do. So it's nice to have options for how you can send messages. That way, you know, it's a little bit more Emacs friendly. You don't have to get everything wrapped up in just sending messages all day long. Control X, Control S. Whoops, Control X, Control S. How do I cancel that buffer though? Because I tried using Control C, Control K, and it did not let me out. Control X, Control K? No. Ement cancel. Ement composition. All I know how to do is kill the buffer, which I don't think is the right thing to do. Hey, I want to close the window. All right, now I have to use Control X 0. There we go. Ah, it even highlights code. That's nice. Summer Emacs says, what's offline? Yeah, I know the feeling. Killing the buffer is fine. Yeah, it would be nice if Control C, Control K worked because it's really common, like in commit buffers and stuff. Okie dokie. So Guns got a nice little, oh, even a link embedded. That's pretty sweet. Italics and bold, even tables. Tables sort of work. That's awesome. So, I mean, you've got a pretty nice ability to write formatted messages in Ement.el and have other people see them. In fact, let's go over here to the web chat and see what it looks like. So here, Guns message actually does show up pretty well. I think it translates that into Markdown, and then the Element client is able to render all that. So not bad. And this even goes as a code block as well. Let's see, did that work? Let me see if I press Alt Enter, begin source sh end source rmrf slash Control X, Control S. Okay, I'm not sure how well that turned out. Oh, okay, it turned out fine here. It didn't turn out so fine here, I suppose, but maybe that's because of the language I chose. Okay, let me check out what's been going on in the other chat, the YouTube chat, because I haven't been paying attention at all. Case says, wow, Matrix sure is great. I don't know if that was sarcasm, because it was a while back. Case says, I'm going to be honest, I don't get typing notifications. Yeah, it's not really necessary. Could be a little bit annoying. Gun says, I always forget to disable evil mode for Ement. Yeah, I need to disable it for that as well. Let's see. What else am I missing here? You can even write the buffer in org mode. Yep. Okay. All right. Yes, it would be nice if things did get deleted, right? I don't use this computer every day, so it doesn't bother me too much if it does get deleted. Zone mode. Let me see, what is that? Okay, so it is text. Anyway, so far, you can see that it looks pretty good, right? I mean, if you have Emacs 29, emojis show up really nicely, so long as you have a good font for that, which I think I'm using Google Noto something. What is it called? It's enormous, the file for that, at least. Formatted text, replies, embeds. Let's see. Let me insert a link directly. HTTPS systemcrafters.net/community/ Does it automatically gather information about the link? No, it doesn't do it. The bridge dropped one of your messages. Yeah, the IRC bridge, if you're talking on the IRC side, sometimes it will lose messages. That's one thing that kind of sucks a little bit. They seem to be changing the bridge or adding features to it and possibly breaking it every now and then. So if you're on IRC, be aware that sometimes people may not see things that you're saying. And if people aren't responding to you, you might want to double check that people saw it. Alpha Papa says, link previews will be added in the future. There's a PR about that. I felt like I saw one yesterday, but I could be wrong about that. What if I posted on this side? So this does a preview. Okay, so it didn't actually do the preview in both places. Oh, and as you can tell, I'm using the same user in two different clients. The other benefit is that this Element client is on Android and iOS, and the experience is quite good, to be honest. If you want to be able to use chat on the go, many IRC clients on mobile are okay, but you still need a bouncer for it to work correctly. And I don't know, it's just not like a great experience overall, but this works great because you get notifications when people mention you or private messages or anything like that. So I think that Matrix is better for someone who wants to chat on the go as well, which I do because, you know, I like to stay up to date on what's happening in the channels in case it's, you know, starting to melt down because people are arguing about, you know, what flavor of cereal they like or whatever. Summer says, I even get notifications on my Apple Watch from Element. Yeah, I don't think I would want that to happen. It would drive me insane. Let's see. Alpha Papa, what else should I be talking about here? Let me pull up the menu again. Okay, describe room. Let's see what describe room says. What was it? I just missed it. Wow. Did I close it by accident again? Fantastic. I think I closed my buffer. Did I hit Q? Yeah, Q apparently closed that buffer. All right. So question mark, it's RD. So this gives me details about the room, the ID of the room, which is sort of like an internal code for the room, the alias. So it tells you what the actual room name is, the actual sort of public name, gives you a list of all the members of the room, all their information. The people who are joined through IRC, you can point them out by looking at their host name. So if it says Libra chat, then it's somebody who's coming from IRC. But you can see that I think many of the people who are in the channel are coming from, what is happening? Emacs decided to freeze for a second. Many people are coming from, well, there's quite a few from Libra chat, but there's also a lot from matrix.org also. So yeah, that's a nice way to see who's there. And I need to close this now. Hey, Control Z, Q. There we go. Demonstrate Ement room occur to search for messages by user or keyword. All right, so let's do that. So there is another command we can check out, which is Ment.el. I like the fact that Alpha Papa is using the appropriate built-in key maps for certain things like Meta-G, Meta-S. I'm gonna embarrass myself by stating that I only learned about those recently. Meta-S, Meta-G, I have not been in the loop on those for a while. This is what happens whenever you get too used to using evil bindings for everything, is that you don't really try to investigate more of the built-in stuff, and then you realize that you're missing out on a lot of really good things. Meta-S-O. So I'm gonna search for Davy Will. Now, let's see how far back this goes. I don't know if it goes back further than what I already have loaded in the buffer, but it says it's loading 30 earlier events. So it does seem to be trying to load events, but it's not updating the results, which is fine. But it's able to show me results from this buffer. So any line that's from me or somebody mentioning me, you can see. What else? What should I search for? I'm going to see Meta-S-O. Trying to think of something that would give me a result. Ubuntu. I know I said that word today. Okay, so only a couple of results, but I think it only goes back as far as your history buffer. So if you want more results, you would have to look more back in the history. Yeah, Alpha Papa says the Ement room occur feature only searches received events. Nice to have that though, because you can easily go back and find other things. I imagine if you're using something like consult line, I have that bound to Control S. I could also just say Ubuntu here, but I think the occur thing is probably better because it will give you the messages back in the proper format and not just be sort of blasting it out there. RF for message format feature. Okay, well, what's that? RF, set message format. So RF. Okay. Oh, interesting. I haven't seen that before. So there's a way to change the way that messages in the channel are displayed. So IRC style using margins. Let's just go through all of these. I'm gonna go IRC style using margins. So it seems about the same. What if I do RF, elemental? Oh, that is a bit different. It's kind of more of a modern looking message experience. How is that different than what we just saw? RF, IRC style and margin. Okay, the name is on the left side. Now I'm learning stuff I didn't know about, which is great. So that's the IRC style with the name on the left side. If you change it to elemental, then you have the name above the message, which is more like, you know, Discord style experience. Alpha Papa, when are we going to get avatars for the individual users showing up? Because this would be the nice way to see those, I think. Probably it's going to be harder for me to follow, I would guess. Because I kind of depend on seeing the name next to the message on the left side. I guess it's just, you know, old IRC style expectations. RF. Okay, so IRC style without margins, new thing. So we put the timestamp on the left side, cool. I like the margins look better though, because with margins, then you have the timestamp there. The other nice thing about this package, which you don't see very often in chat packages, is if you split the buffer, no. Control X2, no. Stop. I forget that I'm using the wrong. There we go. Okay, so now I'll show you. Messages wrap correctly. So this message now is wrapping and the timestamp is showing up here. But if I were to close this window, then it rewraps back to the width of the window and puts the timestamp on the other side. So honestly, this is nice. This is probably the ideal view for me. Eternal says, I got to drop off. Hopefully that'll be in the Dead Tree book. Yeah, I need to write down some of these things. If anybody's taking notes, please feel free to send them to me later because I'm not writing them out. RF. With right margin. Oh, without margins with wrap prefix. Okay, I don't know what's different here. Kind of IRC view. Let's go again. to with right margin with wrap prefix. Ah, okay. So it's a little bit different in how it's presented. So the difference here is that using margins, you'll see that it lines up all the names so that all the messages start at the same column, which to me is better. I don't want to have to like move my eye position to read the beginning of all the messages, but if you like it to look like that, then you can certainly do it. I keep hitting Ment.el. With right margin with wrap prefix. Yeah, so that's the other approach we just saw. And I'm guessing there's a variable for that. Ement format, what is it? Where is it? Is there not a variable for this? Well, let's just look at the code. Why don't we? Whoops. Ement room format. Set message format. Oh, okay. I guess you could just use that. Is it interactive? Interactive. That must be why. So it will prompt you for the different choices. And then if you want to, you can call this function directly and then give it one of the options. Format spec custom type. Gun says, can you also bridge the System Crafter's room into the chat mirror of the stream? I want to do that. I'm not sure the right approach yet, but I have an idea in mind. And I think I'm also going to create a separate room on Matrix and IRC for the live stream so that we can all be in there and not be clogging things up in the general chat all the time. Maybe it doesn't matter too much, but let's go back. Well, I keep closing the buffer by accident. It's real fun. All right, so RF, I'm gonna go back to using margins because that's the one that I like. And Summer is reminding me to showcase burly.el. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do that. Alpha Papa says, I have a branch for user avatars. Will probably merge eventually. Some minor issues with displaying images and Emacs in margins. Okay, that sounds right. Okay, let's see. Emacs is a UI framework. Yeah, you can do quite well with UI stuff in Emacs if you put in the time to make it work right. Purple G says Telega works pretty easily. You just have to install the alert package. Well, I should also mention that Telega is probably the other super high quality chat package that's in Emacs. If you've never used the Telegram service before, it is pretty good. I wouldn't recommend it just because it's proprietary. It's free to use, but it's proprietary, and you know, there are reasons why it can be questionable to use it, but I use Telegram because I've been using it for a while, and Telega.el is a great package. And I put Ement.el on the same tier as far as, like, you know, the quality of implementation, especially in terms of the UI, because it's not very common to see really good quality UI. If you ever used like the Jabber package for XMPP in Emacs before, not very good. Also, what else? I mean, any of the IRC packages are not perfect, but yeah, they're good enough. Borussia says Telega is really good, except it's not open source. Yeah, the TD-lib program is, isn't it? All right, Alpha Papa says, might want to demo Ement Room Prism. Well, let's see what that variable says. Ement Room Prism. Display users' names and messages in unique colors. Okay. And it's a custom group. Okay. So you need the custom logic a little bit for this, it seems. Interesting. Customize option. Ement Room Prism. Let me expand this a little bit. State standard. Click state. I don't use value menu. Name and message. Okay, so 1, name and message. Apply and save. I don't use a customized UI very often, as you can see. So do I need to refresh this buffer, like exit it? Oh, there it goes. Okay, I think that's green. So this is actually kind of nice. I mean, if it gives all messages independent colors for everybody, that way you can kind of track who it is who's saying things, and that's good. So even Summer's message is green. I'm sure Summer's not very happy about her messages being baby food green right now, but what can you do? I didn't pick it. I actually like that quite a lot. I might turn that on. Ement room flush colors. All right. And that seems to have worked. The whole buffer's there. I need to write that one down because that one I didn't know about. So let's, come on. All right, so let's jump to the show notes. I want to just put together a little configuration. So we're gonna say use package Ement ensure T custom. Let me check that value. Where is it? Ement prism both. Okay, so it's just a value called both. Ement, where is it? Room, no. Ement room prism both. Okay, so here we go. Room prism prism both. All right, so that should be enough for now. What else did we see that was a good? Oh, it changed. Now it changed. Whenever I flushed the colors, it rotated them. Interesting. Now Ashraz is purple. Yes, I have looked at EF Summer. I was looking through the EF themes repo today. Okay. What else have we seen so far? There was another variable that, oh, the format thing. How do we set the format thing? So if I go to customize option, Ement, what was it? Format? Yeah, these format things. How do you set that? Prism colors adjust based on the current theme to ensure readable contrast. Cool. Use package form won't work. Why not? Seems to work. It didn't complain. Oh, well, yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, we have to set up our package repos. I didn't say that here, but it's in Melpa. It's in Elpa? No, it's not in Elpa, is it? Let's check it. Oops, I got to do this. Browse packages. Ooh, it is an Elpa. Wow, good job. So that's pretty good then. If you don't have to set up any package repos, then that's excellent. Elpa is very nice. It's kind of a pain because you have to do copyright assignment over to the FSF on your package, which means that you have to have an employer who's okay with you doing copyright assignment. Yes, Copyright Free Software Foundation. Yeah, I think I might have installed it via Melpa too. Actually, I'm installing it via Geeks on my machine. So Control C, GP. Let's see, what version is in Geeks? Emacs and Ment. That is 083. The one here is 093. So I'm a little bit out of date. Yes, non-GNU Elpa is also now there by default, which is nice. Package, archives. I think I have Melpa in my config, but the original value is GNU and non-GNU, which is great. Ah, okay. That's why I was confused then. Okay. What else do we want to say about... Let me close that out. So we did replies. We did tagging, sort of. I mean, I showed it at the beginning. Name override. You can set your own name for a channel if you want it to have a different name than what is official, which is fine. I mean, it's good for cleaning up your view. Message format. Topic. I could probably, well, I can't set it with this account, but if I was with my other account, I could set the topic of the channel. RM lets you list the members specifically. So I'm in the channel and I press RM. Yeah, we'll definitely get to save sessions. So RM just gives you a plain list of all the people who are in the channel, which is nice because then you can search this and say alpha and see that there's... So those of you who don't know, when you're in one of these channels, it automatically joins you over to the LibreChat IRC so that you show up as an independent entity or identity or puppet for the people who are in IRC. So everyone who's in Matrix will also have another entry that is like bracket M usually. What is mine? Because I'm special. It's not that one. It must be that one. So I show up differently because I renamed myself. I thought I was Davey Will without the M in IRC, but maybe it did that itself. Anyway, good to have that there. Come on now. Can you close? Close. I keep turning off evil bindings and it's causing me issues. Let's see. Demo editing messages? Yes, we should do that. So how the duck do I do this correctly? Which typo am I gonna fix? All right, so I think what was it? Insert, if you press the insert key. No, not for me. Insert. Okay, now you can edit the message. So, yes, and then it will confirm do you actually want to edit it. Then you press yes. It will edit the message. But for the IRC side, they will actually see another message get posted with the correction to your previous message. So it doesn't send your whole message again on the IRC side. It sends basically like /s replacement type text, which is nice because I think the person on the other side can kind of understand. Ashrad says, do I have to ban you? Well, you could ban this account, just don't ban my main account. Yes, it's in said syntax, that's right, yes. And Fade can see that because Fade's in IRC. The language message did not get across. No, it didn't. Which is great because then I couldn't tell that you were trying to scold me. Love it. You can create a room. Interesting. Join a room, leave a room, forget a room. Yeah, we saw that before. Let's see. Oh, the other buffers, which are really nice to have. Okay, we talked about the list rooms buffer. There's also a switch to other room. If you hit MGMR, then it will tell you the other buffers that you're in. You could jump to one of them. What's this micro buffer? Okay. Nothing ever materialized in that chat. Let's see. MGMR, I can jump to the Emacs room. MGMR, I can jump back to the general room. So it's a very easy way to jump between buffers. Show UI and U return. Don't do it, Purple G says. What is U? Oh, yeah. I don't want to ignore anyone. I could just ignore Alpha Papa. Let's see. Let's see UI. All right, so I want to invite a user. I could type in anyone's name here. So Fade, but Fade's already here and Fade's in IRC. Fade says, I was skeptical, but this is a very fine piece of work. Yes, this is why I wanted to do this stream. And people were saying that whenever someone has a title to an article or a video that ends in a question mark, the answer is always no. But the answer is not no. The answer is yes, at least in my opinion anyway. I mean, it's great. It's a great client for Matrix. I think everybody should be using it. Daydreamer in the YouTube chat says, can you slap anyone around with a bit of large trout? Well, let's see. I think emotes work. No, it didn't work. What is it? Ement emote. That is a really old... Whoops, that's a bad typo. A really old IRC joke. I don't even know where that got started. I'm gonna press insert here to fix that. Aradnodon. There, I fixed it. But it lost the italicized formatting. SE. What is SE? SE. Send emote. Thank you, Alejandro. It's from Monty Python. It makes sense. Yeah, Fade says it was a stock emote macro in MIRC for Windows. Yes, MIRC. That was the tool of the day for sure. I was using that before I switched to Linux back in 1990, whatever it was. Ashra says, reminds everyone of trolls. Do we have any trolls? And you can see that people are typing in the chat, like I mentioned before, which is interesting. It sort of just tells you who's active, who's there. I see Daigo's here. It's nice. Nice to see you. I don't know if Kijima or Daigo is the first name, because I think that in Japan, maybe they switched them. Not sure. They're caught with red herrings. Okay. Big Edie says, I don't see my last message on the stream. Are you on IRC or on Matrix? Sometimes Matrix does goof up a little bit. Let's see, what does Element have? Yeah, there's more messages here. Who knows? Ah, yes, Alpha Papa makes a good point. Maybe a good time to show the room side list. So the side list is actually quite nice. It's something that I use because I want to keep an eye on which channels have activity. So let's see, room side. There's a command called Ement room list side window. If you execute that, it will put a side window up, which is sort of a special thing in Emacs where it's like a persistent buffer on one of the sides of the screen. And it will give you your room list in a way that you can kind of keep an eye on it. It's the same room list, effectively. But at least whenever a channel goes bold, the text goes bold, you can tell there's been activity there. Let's see, buffers. Yeah, so the Emacs channel has activity that I haven't seen yet. And if I click over to that, then I can see that a bunch of people have been joining, basically, and that's why there's activity. I can jump back over to General by clicking on it, and I'm here. Yeah, it reminds you of Tremax. So it's very nice to have. It's more of a kind of traditional chat program experience where you can have a window set up where you have like the channels list on one side and then your actual active chats. And because you have Emacs' own window management abilities, then you can have, you know, whatever setup you want with multiple channels in it, which is cool. Emacs, where's the other Emacs channel? There we go. So, and also because the messages wrap correctly, you can have all kinds of window configurations and be able to see everything. So if you have like instant messages, you can have a few smaller windows and then have bigger windows for, you know, the main chats that you're in. So this is a real like legitimate chat client whenever you get down to it. One other thing that Alpha Papa wanted me to show at some point, which we will get to eventually, is using a package called burly.el to manage your window configurations so you can save them and then reload them later, which can be really nice if you want to kind of keep this window config and reload it. What else did we say we wanted to take a look at really quickly? Oh, the other thing, I'm gonna close that window on the side. One thing I like to do is put that on the right side. And if you pass in a particular argument to element room, whoa, that's not the right one. List side window, you can, hey, stole my cursor. All right, so let me try that again. Element room list side window, okay? Colon side right. Then it pops up on the right side. This is the way that I usually like to have it. So that way you can put it on whatever side you want. Probably you can even put it on the top or the bottom if you want to. Use the universal prefix arg to get prompted for the side. Let's try that. So Control U for the prefix arg and then run side window. It did not prompt me. I think that I may be using an older version. So I think it wants to cycle the side value based on how many times I press the prefix key. Let's press it twice and then run it. No, same thing. Kind of weird. Alpha Papa is typing. He's getting ready to correct me here, which is good. We want that. I wonder what stuff I'm missing if I'm not on the latest version. Can I tell? Ement version? Yeah, it would be nice to have that, I think, because it's the most obvious way to do it, having the universal key cause it to prompt. All right, so I'm gonna close out some stuff here. Get out of my face. All right, so let me see. Let's check out what else is in here. Ement dash. You can redact messages. So, I shouldn't have said that. And then ement redact. Did I just see that? Or was that a function? Hold on. Ah. Dude, I'm losing it here. There we go. Is there a redact? A delete message, Control K. That makes sense. Control K. Room list. Here we are. No, that's not it. I have too many buffers open, obviously. Ment.el. There we are. Clicky. There we go. Okay, so I put my cursor on that line, Control K. Delete this event. Yes. Reason, I no like it. Okay, so it just crosses it out. What's it like on this side? Message deleted. Okay. View source. Hold on. Redacted because I no like it. So at least it doesn't have the text in the little special stuff there. But yes, you can't delete from IRC. That's true. So be careful if you want to delete a message. Minas Mazer says, please stop using evil mode. Yeah, I know. Evil mode is causing me a little bit of trouble right now today. Daiquiri time. Yeah. Good luck with that. Okay, so let's see. Did I miss anything else? I mean, there's other things obviously we're going to show, but just making sure that everything in this list I've gotten to. Jump to fully read marker. So there's also some scrolling commands. Scroll up and mark red. So in the channel that you jump to, if I go to this Emacs channel here, what was that command? That was space. Okay. There's a way to jump to the stuff that you haven't read yet so that you can sort of cycle around and see all of the buffers that have activity. I think if I just press space in this buffer, it will jump me to other buffers with activity. Am I right about that? Let's go back to the Emacs buffer, and then I will say question mark. Shift space scrolls down. I don't know if that actually is the right thing. Is it down or up? Shift space. Oh, I think evil mode is biting me again. Evil mode. Turn off evil mode. Let's just turn it off because I'm getting way too tripped up. Emacs. Space. Shift space. It's not doing what I expect. Oh, evil mode is on everywhere. Turn off evil mode. Here. Turn off evil mode. Space. That just goes to show you, kids. Don't use evil mode in Ement. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. Shift space. Shift space. End of buffer. Okay, so let me do this. Put it here. Shift space. Shift space. All right, it's not doing... Oh, come on, dude. All right, so that went to the bottom of the buffer at least. And in this buffer, it keeps turning on evil mode every time I switch to it. Space. Okay. Let's see what the people in the chat are saying, because I'm doing it wrong. Purple G says Control Z. Yeah, I know, but like I have to do it in every buffer, and it's causing me trouble. William says there appears to be a hook that is turning it back on for me. Yeah, it's doing it for me for sure. Let's see. Show user room completion. Oh, yes, good point, for sure. Directory search. Okay, so I'll have to do the directory in a second, but the user and room completion for sure. So I'm gonna start typing a message. I'll say BARO, and then Control Alt I for completion. Tab probably works too, right? No, not for me. But however you do completions on things in the mini buffer, for me it's Control Alt I. It will give you completions on the names of people in the room, but probably also across matrix, I'm guessing. So I can complete to Borosio and ping him there. Let's see. Probably it's only the people in the room. So Foo. Yeah. So nobody named Foo here. But it does give you a list of all the things that are matching that substring, which is cool. So anybody who has stuff like with KA in their name, you can see all that. Donkey? What? Completion when writing only completes within the room. Completion when inviting users completes against all users you've seen in any room. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Also completing room names. Let's try to see if we can get the Geeks room. So hash GUI. No. Ement join room. Hashed GUI. No, not working, but maybe it's the ones I'm in. No. Come on now. Yeah, okay, so the rooms that I'm in, it will definitely complete. Cool, yeah, it completes those for sure. So at least the rooms that you're in, it will complete those. Ashra says, no one here watched the argument scene from Shrek 2. I can't say that I've seen that movie. Fade says, a whole generation of hackers seem to have been bent by Vim. Yes. Chris K says, wait, did the stream start 20 or 80 minutes ago? Yeah, 80, I think. It's been a little over an hour. Okay, so Alpha Papa says, the right way to do that is to use Ement directory search. I can search the rooms. I'm going to type in geeks. And press enter. Searching for geeks on matrix.org. Okay, there's actually more channels than I expected to see for geeks here. Geeks Days, System Crafters Geeks channel, Geeks and Geeks System, which I didn't know there was a matrix channel for that. There's also the Libra chat room, which is the sort of official place. There's a GNU Geeks at matrix.org with one person in it, so they're all alone. Capital Geeks at matrix.org, 2 people. Kind of interesting. I like the fact that it sorts these by the number of members in the channel. We need some more people in this room so we can get up into the greater than 100 members section there, please. Got to have those metrics, right? Chris says, okay, time zones and +1, -1 max confusion. That's why if you go to the System Crafters website, no longer do I tell you it's at a specific time zone at a specific time, because I kept getting it wrong. If you go here, there's a link under the live stream section. Click here to see the stream time in your local time zone. And this nice little page will tell you what time it is in your time zone. At 6 p.m. on Friday, my time in Athens, Greece, it will tell you what it is in your time. So use that always for finding out what time the stream is. Purple G says, I'm anti-time zone. I'm anti-time. Time doesn't exist. It's a concept created by human beings so that we have a way to relate with each other. But really, it's BS. It doesn't exist. So you could just destroy your clocks right now, set all your clocks in your computers back to the Unix epoch time, and then let's just live without time at all. And then just be in the moment, you know, like the Buddha told us to. Because we're just, you know, screwing around here with this time concept that's driving us all crazy. Just kidding. Fade says, Einstein weeps. Yes. That's my life goal, is to make the specter of Einstein weep. I'm a time lord. I live outside of time. No, I'm very much bound by time. I don't have enough. Gun says, why not use UTC once and for all? Yeah, I did that, and I screwed it up, didn't I? Because you always correct me. You seem to find out whenever I'm wrong about the time. Oh, you mean like everybody use UTC? Yeah, that's probably better. Everybody be on one time zone? I don't know. Why did we make time zones? It's like one of the dumbest things to have to deal with as a programmer. We do have trolls, yeah. I suppose so. I think I got the other things that Alpha Papa said, right? Now we should probably look at some customizations. So let me check. I want to take a look at what faces we're using in these buffers. I can't actually move my cursor over to the names though. Show Burley, yeah, let's do that in session saving, but also a little bit of customization maybe. So describe face, Ement, okay. So there are some faces for this package that you can customize if you want. The room name, your own name, general usernames. So let's see. I wonder if I can change the font face used for this. So if I were to, if you can't put point on names because you're using the format that puts names in the margins. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Totally cool. Let's go to my .files, Emacs, modules core, IO Sevka. All right, so I just need to steal this face attribute setting. And I want to put that on Ement room user. I'll delete the weight off there. I don't want to fool with that. Okay, now let me go and take a look at the chat. So you can see that I actually did customize that so that it is a non-monospace font. It could be a variable width font if you want to. It seems that things are being trimmed off a little bit. Probably that's an Emacs thing. But it is possible if you want to. I've got it set to a light weight as well. I could probably just take that off if I wanted to. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so you can make it be whatever you want. In fact, the message font as well. Let's see, describe face. Oh, that's default. Probably, let's see, variable pitch mode. Okay, so if you want, for whatever reason, you could turn on variable pitch mode in these buffers to not have monospace fonts, and it could be more like a, what you want to call it, quote unquote, modern chat client. I'm trying to find some of those formatted messages to see what they look like. Okay, yeah, it still works, more or less. Using variable pitch faces with the elemental display style looks nice. Let's press RF, if I'm in the right mode. RF, R, hello. R, read only. Come on now. There we go. Elemental. Boom. Okay, so it seems like the font sizes are tweaked a little bit, maybe. That's cool. Looks good. And the timestamps are also showing up correctly. I don't know if that's because they're in margin also. Probably. That's good though. All right, so let's turn off variable pitch mode and let's put it back into margin mode that I like. So you could definitely change the fonts of the things that you want to see. If you use describe face, then you can look up all the Ement faces and change all of those to your heart's content. You can sort of see what they look like already. Cool. Now if we had a good editor, okay. Let's get into that war too. That sounds great. All right, so yes, thank you, Alpha Papa. That was the other thing I wanted to show. The mentions notifications buffer. So let's take a look one more time at this menu here with a question mark. There's two other things, mentions buffer and notifications buffer. So MGMM, or meta G, meta M, and meta G, meta N. If I were to press meta G, meta M, that goes to a buffer that is specifically about the mentions of me in any channel. I don't know how far back this goes, but at least it shows me all of the mentions. So if you wanted to have a buffer open just to watch for when people mention you in a channel and not have to actually watch the channels, you could do that. Somebody who's watching now, mention me. I want to see if this gets updated. I think it does. But I also just saw an error pop up in the echo area, so the likelihood is that it's broken. And that could be my fault because I haven't updated. I'll also split this window and say meta G, meta N. Okay, there we go. Fade mentioned me, and it did work. So any mentions would go to the mentions buffer, but it looks like any messages go into the notifications buffer for different channels. So if you wanted, you could actually watch multiple channels at the same time in one buffer. So I'm seeing messages both from Emacs and from the System Crafters General channel at the same time, which is kind of interesting. I wonder, can I put my cursor on a message and press Shift Return? Okay, cool. So I actually can reply to that specific message in the Emacs channel. Let me cancel that. Purple says, do you need @ No, you don't need @ You can just put their name in the buffer and it mentions them. That's a Matrix thing, I think. So let's go back. Okay, so Oliver Mead here. I'm gonna press Shift Return on that message, and it brings me exactly to where that message is in the Emacs chat buffer, and then I'm set up to send a reply, so I can reply directly to that message. So technically speaking, you can just read this buffer to see all the activity and all the channels that you're joined to, I think. I don't really know what the criteria are. Like, is it all channels, or is it just channels that are not low priority? Not sure. Maybe Alpha Papa can tell me, but they're pretty nice, actually. This is a good way to keep track of what's happening without having to actually sit in all the channels that you're in. So that's pretty cool. You can jump to the place in the channel from the mentions buffer. Yes, if I click on one of these, it brings me right there. So that's great. And I think the same thing works where if I move my cursor up to one of the messages and press Shift Enter, it will do a reply at that location as well. So very cool stuff. Very useful, especially for a person like me who needs to keep an eye on multiple channels at the same time. And also the people who are going to help me moderate, it probably would be helpful for them as well. The notification settings control which messages are shown in the notifications buffer. Let's see. Yes, you can definitely do the notifications in the side window. Ement notifications. Set notification state. Set notification state for room on session. Is that the one? Minas Mazer says, does anyone know the Mighty Keycord package? It totally rocks. Yeah, it's pretty cool. One thing you can do that's pretty cool with Keycord is you can set FD to be a keycord that corresponds to escape. So if you are typing in insert mode, in evil mode, you can press FD really quickly to go escape, to go back to normal mode, which is pretty cool. I used to use that. That was something I learned from SpaceMax. Let's see. Yeah, the notification settings control, I'm guessing that means then for the channels, each channel you set. There's not a command to show that buffer in a side window. I have a command in my personal config that lets you do that for any buffer. I mean, isn't there a way to do that with display buffer A list? I think with display buffer A list, if you set that up, you can make that buffer go there because it's probably got a specific mode, or you can even use a regex on the buffer name. Control left square bracket also works as escape. Well, that's cool. Let me just check what's happening in the YouTube chat. Display buffer A list is a black hole of pain and sorrow. Well, it's not necessarily straightforward. Let's see. Where do IRC DM's query message go to? Somebody on IRC, send me a private message. Let's see what happens. I wonder if I get a notification about that. Wow. That's a whole function pasted into the chat from Alpha Papa. So if you want the code that Alpha Papa has for side window, there you go. In fact, I can just evaluate this directly in the buffer. Take that, Element client. I just did that. AP display, boom, look at that. It's a little bit squeezed, but you get the gist. Oh, wrong buffer, I pressed Q in. But, you know, oh, there, see? So Fade invited me to a chat. I'm gonna click on that. You've been invited to this room, join this room. Now I'm here. And let's see if Fade will reply. Hello. Okay, cool. So private messages from IRC to Matrix do work. Let me see. So how do I send a private message to someone else? Ement message. Ement send direct message. So there's a command ement send direct message. I'm going to say ACDW at Libra checks. I know he's there. Hello, friend. And then it slowly gets around to doing that. It did not seem to jump to that room, though. Let me go back to my room list. That could be a thing that is taking a while because of the bridge. That's weird. Did it eventually show up? What happened here? So this is here, but it's not here. Is it hidden somehow? Ah, here it is, finally. Shows up. Okay, cool. What did Case do? Up your butt. What? They go to the person you messaged. I'm behind the Restream bot. Yes. Well, the Restream bot gets really out of sync. That's for sure. Okay. Does this do anything? No. G. Let's see. I think the G key will refresh this buffer. Oh, whoa. What did I do? Or is it? Well, if you're in evil mode, GR will refresh the buffer. That's for sure. Let's go back to general chat. Let's see. I wonder what the big snippet looks like inside of IRC. It's probably like a grenade of code. You got distracted from almost reading YouTube chat. Yes. Okay. Okay, so this is a source block in org mode. So let's see. Can I look at the details of this message? I think there is a key for that. V, view event. Ah, damn it. V. Yeah, there you go. Wow, it's got HTML code in there. I think it's because the server must be converting that to HTML to be displayed in clients, but this is the real raw text. So you can see the org mode text to begin with. Hi, Kit. Okay, so a couple more things. First of all, a very useful feature that is not turned on by default, but will be turned on by default soon, is the ement save sessions variable. This is just a Boolean. If you set it to true, what it will do is save your current session token to a file on disk so that when you try to connect again, it will load that token instead of asking you for your password. So let's just set that to true. I'm gonna set ement save sessions. Is that right? Sessions to true. And then I'm just gonna go disconnect here. Ement disconnect. Boom, it's gone. But now I'm going to say ement connect, and it's gonna just put me right back in the chat. I can go into the room. If I want, I can scroll up to load more history. So, you know, it's much easier to like shut down your computer or restart Emacs, reconnect to chat, and then scroll up and get the history that you missed, which is nice. And also, let's see, what about the notification display, meta G, meta N? All right, so I think that's only since I opened it. Meta G, meta M. Oh, okay, mentions. All right, so we only see mentions that have been synced, I think. Oh yeah, we should put his function in the show notes. Let me go back to the channel. Let's go grab this. Because that's kind of a useful little snippet to show how you might do some advanced stuff. Boom. I don't need to put a documentation string because it's already there. Did I break that somehow? What's going on with this buffer? Oh, SRV. There we go. All right. Cool. So anyway, Borussia says, talk about the hack to encrypt credentials. Yes. So the one thing that you should know if you want to use this feature is that the your password is not saved in this file, but a session token is saved in this file. And it is a token that can be used to send messages on your behalf. It's written out in plain text. If you don't like that, then I would say don't use the feature. However, if you know a thing or two about Emacs, you might remember that any file can have an extension, a file extension appended to the end of .gpg, like what Ashraz is saying here right now. Isn't Ement using auth.info.gpg? No, it's not using either of those. Alpha Papa can link you to the thread where he talks about how auth sources is not really that secure. But one thing you can do that's fairly secure is put .gpg on the end of the session file. So there is a variable, ement sessions file. This is the location where by default the ement.el session file that has your token in it is stored. You can change this variable to make this file end with .gpg, and that will cause Emacs to try to encrypt this file using your GPG keys, or even just a normal password that you give it, so that whenever it saves a file, it encrypts it when saved, and when it loads the file, it will try to decrypt it whenever it gets loaded. However, it doesn't work out of the box, or it does work, but it prompts you for your certificate every single time that you try to save your session or reload it, which is not so great. Actually, it's only when you save it. There is a hack that I came up with. Actually, I sent a, where is it? Alpha Papa Ement. I sent a PR to the ement.el repo that has a fix for that. You can just copy and paste it into your ement.el actual package code if you want. I think that in the end, this functionality might be introduced in a different way, not with the sort of hack that I put in here, but basically it's just the way that the EPA module or feature works in Emacs. For some reason, you got to make this variable local to the buffer that is being saved for the sessions file so that it works correctly. I don't know why, but this is what works. I actually stole this out of the auth source code. You can go look at the actual Emacs source and see where I got the original idea from. But if you want to use an encrypted file, you can do that. It just requires a little bit of extra work on your part for now. But I'm imagining that we will have a hook or something at some point that will allow you to customize this buffer so that you can turn on encryption for that file and make sure that it works correctly. That way, that your token is not stored in plain text on your hard drive. So yeah, there's the stuff in the chat here for where there's discussion about auth sources and why ement.el does not use them. There we go. Let's just leave those right there. Theo Peckley says, hello, am I too late? Can we start over? Sure. Hi, everybody. Welcome to System Crafters Live. I'm David Wilson, and we're starting over from scratch now. Okay. Fade says, there aren't going to be do-overs. Yeah, there can't be do-overs now. We're already at an hour and 45 minutes into it. Let's see. Okay, so we got the session saving. Like I said, all you got to do is turn on this variable. Beware, this stores your token to disk in plain text. But it's useful. It's a useful feature to have. And in fact, you're technically not supposed to be logging into Matrix every time you open your chat client, because what it does is creates a new session every time you log in, and sessions have meaning in terms of Matrix. If you go to your element client on the web, I think you can go look at your sessions somewhere. Is it here? Where is the sessions list? I know it's somewhere. Oh, security and privacy. Okay, here we are. So you can see that I have specific sessions here. One from Ement.el, a couple from Element.io. So the more times you log in with Ement.el without saving your session, the more entries you get here. And it just confuses things. I don't know if it really matters that much, but it's not the way you're supposed to use it. So I'm just telling you so that you know. Case never replied to me. I'm so sad. You're on 10. What is 10? Oh, init.el bankruptcy. Yeah, well, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do, right? You just got to start over every 2 weeks. Ashraz is recounting from the Reddit. The author of Auth Sources says, the API was originally written after a nightmare I had about rogue AIs living in poplar trees from drinking too much Swedish liquor in Norway. What? That can't be real. I'm running out of time to showcase burly.el. Nah, I don't think so. Okay, let's see. Alpha Papa Burly Pop. Alpha Pop. If you didn't know, Alpha Papa has written like 150,000 packages, so just go check out his GitHub page and you'll see all of them. Burly is another one, which allows you to store window and frame configurations basically as Emacs bookmarks, which is kind of an interesting concept. I've not really used it before, so we're going to try to use it right now and save a window configuration. I'm curious how this works with tabs and also other frames that I really don't want to save. I would love to save my chat frame, but I don't want to save everything because some of my frames are just garbage. All right, so we're going to use packet. Do I have to do Quelpa? GNU Elpa. Lots of notifications. So I don't think Burly is here. No. Let's look at package install Burly. That's on Melpa. Okay. Burly is on Melpa, Alpha Papa says. Thank you. So let's do use package. Let's see if this works. Okay, that seemed to work okay. Now, Burly bookmark frames, Burly bookmark windows, Burly bookmark frames and windows. Okay, so I can do all of the current frames and the current frames window configuration. Great, so I can do just one frame. So let's say I have 2 frames. I'm gonna make a little split here in this one. This is not the one that I want. I'm gonna go in here to the general chat. I'm going to put up the side window there. I'm going to drop in here and put in the Emacs System Crafters channel. Room lit. Well, let's just go over here and click right over. Where are you? Right there. Hey, I'm getting some Common Lisp library errors here. That's fun. Stop it. Stop it. There it is. When you enable Burly tabs mode, opening a Windows bookmark restores it to a tab bar tab. Okay, so Burly tabs mode. I like that. But I don't want to open a bookmark just yet. All right, so what I'm going to do is Burly bookmark windows, chat, or let's just say Ement windows. So it should have saved that. In theory, I can close this frame. Is it kill frame or delete frame? Delete frame. Boom, frame's gone. Let's say Burly tabs mode. Now, if I were to run Burly, what is it? Restore, open, Burly open bookmark, Ement windows. Cool, so it pulls that back up. And in fact, it's even in a tab here, which is nice, which means I could probably pull that up myself anywhere I want to. The one question I have though, can I store that bookmark in my configuration so that I can have it on all my computers and not only on this computer? So it's cool that it worked. I mean, obviously it did work. What about Burley? What else we got here? Return the URL for buffer. Okay. Burley bookmarks are just Emacs bookmarks. They can also be serialized to a URL string. Cool. Open URL. Open a Burley URL. How do I write it out? List bookmarks. Okay. Burley URL. Windows URL. The Burley kill commands. Burley kill. Windows URL. Cool. So basically just drops that in. Let's go to the Scratch. Can I go to Scratch buffer here? Scratch. Where is my damn Scratch buffer? Scratch. Scratch. Where are you? Scratch. Scratch buffer. Thank you. Wow. That is one heck of a URL. But it's basically got all of the information encoded in it. You can see that there's a lot of, it must be parentheses, %28. If I were to drop this into a page that can decode this URL encoding, I imagine that it would look like a lot of parentheses. Yeah. Probably a big A list of some sort. So, and in theory, I could save this to a file and load it back up, or even check in my bookmarks file. Bookmarks save. Bookmarks save. Save currently defined bookmarks in a file. Okay. So then there's my bookmark default.el. If I go to cache, Emacs, var, bookmark default, then you can see that here. So you could definitely save this out and check it into your repository, I think, your .files repository. Cool. What is this? Wow, what is happening? It loaded this up in, is this Firefox or Chrome? But it looks terrible. Not because Fade's picture is terrible. I love my mouth position here. That's just fantastic. But that's pretty cool though. What is a horizontal bar in the room buffer? You mean this part up here? That's the header bar with the icon of the channel, the name of the channel, and the topic. I'm guessing that's what you're asking. How would I change the way that Emacs pages by jumping the window output by half the length of the window so the chat is continuous? Good question. See you, Emmanuel. Single bar for everyone. Oh, the read markers. Okay, yeah. So I think that's it, right? I mean, that shows how we can set up our own little custom window configuration. Let's see, tab, close, is that right? I can use Burley, what was it? Open bookmark, open the Ement windows, and bam, we're back in here again. The question is, what happens if I close a tab, disconnect from Ement, and then try to open that up again? Open bookmark. Okay, so it doesn't find the buffers. Yeah, you have to be connected first before that works. I'll go back and close this. Ement connect. Then I will use open bookmark, Burley. Okay, that actually worked. That's great. So so long as you're connected to the Matrix server before you load up your buffers with Burley, then all of them will get recreated. It actually reopens the right buffers, which is good because I did not have those buffers open to start with. All right, I need to go and add some things to the show notes. So I'll keep an eye on the, man, I think, what is it? Tab spaces is causing this. Why am I... Switch to buffer. Can you just give me my buffer that I want? Org. There we go. Thank you. Summer says, this is really starting to compete with Element for me on my Mac. So, okay. Because we got a couple minutes left. Why did I ask the question, is Ement.el the best Matrix client? Because it gives you way more control over your experience than what you get from any of the web-based interfaces or the native client interfaces or anything like that. Because this is Emacs and because you can write Emacs Lisp code to customize everything, whatever you want, you can make this to be however you want it to be. You can make the fonts look like whatever you want. You can make the display of the rooms look like how you want. You can do anything, right? And you don't have to use your same Emacs session that you're doing your work in. You can have a completely separate Emacs configuration that's only for Ement and then load that one up separately so that it's almost like a separate program. And then you don't have things getting kind of cluttered up. So I feel like, you know, it's a good idea to experiment with the idea of using this as a real client for you because it's almost better in every way because you have control, because you have the ability to customize it how you like. And because it actually is quite good, as you can see. I'm on an older version still, it's great, right? Steb Alien says, it's hard to compete with Electron apps. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Grundle said, it's hard to compete with Electron apps in general. They're just so nice. I kind of disagree. They're usually resource hogs. They look pretty, but, you know, for me, I prefer to have applications that solve a problem for me rather than create problems for me. And I find that applications that don't let me control what they do just create problems for me in the end. That's the reason why we're off Discord, because Discord is a program I have no control over, and I'm afraid to try to use any bridge or any other third-party client because my account could easily be banned for doing that. I don't feel like I'm in control of that experience, but with this, I do feel like I'm in control because it's an open protocol. And the client is free software and it's very high quality, goes right in Emacs. I can mix it in with all of my other workflow that I have. That's much better for me. That's much better for this community. You know, this is the kind of community we are. We're the type of people who want to tweak things and set up our own workflows and environments. You're not going to catch me using an Electron app when I don't have to because I'm going to want to put that in Emacs instead or any other equivalent type of environment that I have control over. Grundle says, I forgot to put /sarcasm. I forget it doesn't carry well over text. Okay, good that we're all on the same page. Hyder says, hey, Hyder, supposedly very annoying to package them. Yeah, I worked on a pretty big Electron app once before called the Atom Editor, and it wasn't that bad. There's some tools that you can use to package them, but building an Electron app, like actually building the code for it, is a freaking nightmare. So yeah, as a developer, stay away from Electron. It's not fun. It's a real pain. Fade says the code drop that Alpha Papa did, which David will test, was able to evaluate right in Emacs, was crazy cool. Yeah, I mean, think about that. Also, I was discussing this with Alpha Papa, I don't know, last week. Imagine if you had a hook set up in Emacs where it would identify certain specially formatted messages that contained Emacs Lisp and auto-evaluated them into your Emacs session. Imagine the kind of hell that could be wreaked with that. I'm considering doing it on the stream. What would happen if I set my Emacs up so that you could tell my Emacs to evaluate code just by sending messages in Matrix? That would be quite an experience, wouldn't it? You know, you remember last year I did that Emacs from Hell stream. I think it would be worse than that, but better, you know. Purple G says you would need to put that in a VM. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would put it into like a a Geeks container. That would be the right way to do that. Then nobody could totally trash my machine. Yeah. Grundle says Twitch plays F up my Emacs. Yeah, that would basically be the name of the game. So we'll probably try that sometime soon. I'm pretty sure that Alpha Papa could spend 5 minutes and give me a snippet of code that would enable that to happen. 10 seconds until async shell command rm rf. Yeah. Well, if I'm in a container, that won't happen. Geeks Container is pretty good about that. Finally, Twitch plays System Crafters, Ashraz says. Big Edie says, I forgot about Emacs from Hell that had that McDonald's theme going. That was great. I think some people didn't like that stream, but I thought it was pretty hilarious. So Summer says, this stream was excellent. Thank you. Yes, thank you for being here. I have fun doing these streams. So Alpha Papa, last chance. Is there anything I missed, or was that it? Just so you know, I'm gonna make an actual video describing how to use Ement at some point. Now that I've done the stream, I don't really have to be in a rush to do that, but you know, a 2-hour stream is not the right way to quickly digest information to tell you how to do something, because it's just splattered all over the 2-hour length of the stream. So I'll make a real video to describe things, but that will come later. For now, you can just watch me ramble for 2 hours and go, and figure things out. Ashra says, Emacs from Hell, whenever you hit an unbind key, it deletes a random S expression from your init.el. Yeah, that would be pretty bad. You know, another idea is every time you run any command in Emacs, it sends a random string to ChatGPT to generate some Emacs Lisp code to put in your configuration and then execute it. Play back a stream did and have the config as output. That would be interesting. Next month, a stream on OrgQL. I really need to use OrgQL a little bit. I think it would be useful, but I haven't. I've spent a little bit of time with it and Org Super Agenda, things like that, but I haven't really like gone really deep into it. Emacs tumor mode, yes. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you all found that to be inspiring in terms of the fact that this is really good and you should try it. So I hope to see more of you in the System Crafters chat over the weekend and the next week. We're having a lot of fun in there, a lot of chat going on at all hours of the day. It's gotten quite busy. All the folks who were originally in the IRC chat are kind of overwhelmed, I think. But, you know, I think everybody's liking it, so that's good. If we need to move things around to other places so we don't overwhelm the IRC, then we'll do it. But for now, I think we're all having fun, so that's great. So yeah, give me your feedback in the comments or on Matrix or on Mastodon or whatever. Tell me what other channels you might like to see in the Matrix server. And also just like go leave Alpha Papa a message in Matrix or on GitHub and let him know what you think of the package. I think it's, you know, good stuff. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for Alpha Papa for being here to help me to not miss any details. And until next time, happy hacking. Have a nice weekend. See you next time.